Are you finding it difficult to compete and need to find better ways to challenge the competition? This video is for you. In this video, we will be learning about Blue Ocean's strategy. This is just another one of the techniques in our strategic analysis toolkit. As a reminder, video number 2 introduced us to an overall framework with various techniques that can be applied when conducting strategic analysis for our business. Blue Ocean's strategy is a technique that considers how to find new ways and areas to compete in. It is a unique way to consider your competitors' strengths and weaknesses alongside your own and develop a unique competitive space in which to operate. With that, let's dive into the presentation. In video number 1, we were introduced to an overall framework for strategic management, and then in video number 2, we focused in on the second part of this framework, namely strategic analysis. Video number 2 went on to describe 5 different techniques that could be applied as part of strategic analysis on an ongoing and repetitive basis. In this video, we will be focusing on the third technique in that list of techniques, namely Blue Ocean's strategy. Blue Ocean's strategy is based on the idea that it is better to swim in empty blue waters than red waters filled with sharks. This requires a 4-step process. 1. Develop the industry strategy canvas. 2. Understand the 4 actions framework. 3. Apply the 4 actions framework. And 4. Formulate a strategy and overlay on the strategy canvas. We start by developing the industry strategy canvas. This includes drawing a chart with competitive factors along the x-axis and the offering level along the y-axis. We then plot out a curve based on these factors. For example, when it comes to business school type content, the industry has the following. Pricing levels are high. However, potential salary increases are also relatively high. Business schools claim to offer high levels of placement success. Business schools claim their programs lead to career progression. Business schools offer relatively high quality content overall. Next, we need to consider the competitive factors from different angles to identify new ways in which to compete. First, we consider from the customer perspective. Do we want to compete on price? Do we want to compete on quality? Do we want to compete on value? And on that basis, who would be our target customers? Next, we consider from our own company perspective. Do we have the internal capability to compete on these factors? Which of these would be our priority? And on that basis, does priority match our intention? And finally, we consider from our competitor perspective. Can we differentiate ourselves? Can we substitute their products or services? And on that basis, can this be easily replicated? Next, we need to consider the 4 actions framework. This requires us to consider 4 different areas that we could capitalize on as we search for bluer waters. 1. Eliminate. Which of the factors that the industry takes for granted should be eliminated? 2. Raise. Which factors should be raised well above the industry's standard? 3. Create. Which factors could be created that the industry never offered? 4. Reduce. Which factors could be reduced well below industry standard? After considering the 4 different areas where we could take action, we should be left with an eliminate, reduce, raise, create grid that we can refer to. For example, when applying this to lightweight finance, as we intend to create online content that is about business and finance, we might come up with something like the following. In terms of elimination, we could eliminate expenditure on promoting salary increases, which typical business schools incur, expenditure on promoting placement success. In these cases, we are thinking of the typical marketing expenditure that business schools incur. For example, consider the Financial Times MBA ratings, etc. In terms of what we could raise, content quality and practical application in the small and medium business context could be improved, since business schools typically provide case studies and examples based on larger corporate environments. In terms of creating new offerings, our content would offer something new to small and medium business owners. They would increase their return on time invested. They could increase their business valuations. Our content would offer better work-life fit. Our content could be used as part of their employee training at no additional cost. In terms of reductions, we would not need to focus on time spent furthering career progressions. Students in business schools aim to get certification upon completion, leading to career progression. Our content does not have that as an objective. It is purely free content for the benefit of SME owners and managers. And so, we are left with the following eliminate, reduce, raise, create grid. Next, we overlay our conclusion onto our strategy canvas. First, we draw on the piece of the chart as it stands. Next, we add our new competitive factors and note where we compete in different waters. And finally, we draw the piece of the chart where we are competing in new waters. On this basis, we formulate our strategy. For example, Lightweight Finance aims to provide business school type content for consumption by small and medium enterprise owners and managers. The content will be freely available online, with the aim of generating advertising revenue via platforms like YouTube. Lightweight Finance will not offer any certification or emphasize career progression. Instead, we emphasize making our content available to people who don't have time or resources to commit to business school and are purely interested in the content substance, which, given the emphasis on SMEs, will likely be SME owners and managers. In this video, we learned about Blue Ocean's strategy. This will allow you to ensure you are removing the competition in a systematic way by operating where they don't, by swimming in blue waters instead of red. Of course, it is probably not likely that you will remove all competition, and in future you may be faced with new competition. That leads us to the next few videos, which will look at Porter's 5 forces. This is a technique that analyzes the competitive landscape from various perspectives to identify high and low risk areas in relation to competition. I trust by now you're putting together some strong content that will ultimately form part of your strategic plan. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell. It helps us grow the channel and bring more content to small and medium business owners and managers. Also, be sure to check the description below for any related product affiliate links. And finally, please comment on the video or click on our community tab to further interactions and updates.